Muito boa tarde a todos que nos acompanham de forma online e presencial. Primeiramente, informamos que este evento está sendo gravado. Para quem nos acompanha online, pedimos que se identifiquem no chat com nome, cargo e empresa ou entidade que representa. Também solicitamos que os microfones permaneçam fechados durante todo o evento, durante toda a apresentação. Para quem nos acompanha online, é possível acessar a tradução simultânea, conforme está sendo apresentado na tela, clicando no ícone Translation. É com grande satisfação que estamos promovendo o projeto Imagem durante a FIRA, por meio do projeto Brazilian Renders, uma realização da ABRA, Associação Brasileira de Reciclagem Animal, em parceria com a ApexBrasil, Agência Brasileira de Promoção de Exportações e Investimentos, na Expo Meet e FIRA 2022. O Projeto Imagem tem como objetivo reunir formadores de opinião, ampliar o diálogo com compradores e reforçar relacionamentos já estabelecidos, visando divulgar as empresas e os produtos do setor de reciclagem animal brasileiros para o mercado internacional. Agradecemos a presença de todos que nos acompanham de forma presencial e virtual. Destacamos com agradecimento especial a parceria e a confiança dos nossos patrocinadores incansáveis no apoio ao setor de reciclagem animal nas principais ações da ABRA, onde se colocam sempre à disposição. Contamos com a presença das empresas patrocinadoras Eurotech Nutrition, DUPS do Brasil, M2 Tecnologia. Muito obrigado. Agradecemos a presença de todos que nos acompanham aqui presencialmente e online, bem como do público que está na Expo Meet e FIRA 2022. Muito obrigado pela participação. Antes de iniciarmos o nosso evento, queremos destacar, dentro deste cenário geopolítico mundial que gera tantas incertezas e consequências para todos nós, mas nada mais forte do que as consequências para a população que está diretamente no campo da guerra. Por isso, pedimos um minuto de silêncio pelas vítimas do confronto entre Rússia e Ucrânia. Neste momento, convido o vice-presidente do Conselho Diretivo da ABRA, João Pedro Bittar, para fazer suas considerações iniciais.
Boa tarde a todos. Esteja você presente aqui em São Paulo, esteja você nos acompanhando de forma virtual na Feira da Indústria de Reciclagem Animal, a FIRA, que está sendo a vitrine e plataforma de oportunidades. Hoje, o grande evento desta tarde é o programa Imagem, uma realização do projeto Brazilian Renders da ABRA em parceria com a ApexBrasil. O foco aqui será o de fundamentar clientes e formadores de opinião dentro e fora do Brasil, sobre a segurança e qualidade dos produtos fabricados pelo setor de reciclagem animal brasileiro, de uma forma pragmática, ampliando conexões, diálogos com compradores, reforçando relacionamentos já estabelecidos, divulgando empresas e os produtos do setor de reciclagem animal, do Brasil para o mercado internacional. Vamos reforçar o conhecimento sobre toda a capacidade de produção, qualidade, sanidade e tecnologia aplicada na produção das farinhas, gorduras, hemoderivados, palatabilizantes e proteínas hidrolisadas. Estes são os produtos do nosso setor que são amplamente utilizados como ingredientes na formulação de rações para peixes, aves, suínos e pets, além de serem importantes para indústrias de outros setores como de higiene e limpeza, biodiesel e fertilizantes. Hoje, nossos produtos estão chegando em mais de 50 países ao redor do mundo. No ano passado, em plena pandemia da Covid-19, foram publicados 20 certificados sanitários internacionais para nossos produtos, entre abertura de novos mercados e adequações de CSIs já existentes. Esse é o trabalho conjunto da ABRA e da ApexBrasil, com o envolvimento oficial do Ministério da Agricultura, Pecuária e Abastecimento e do Ministério das Relações Exteriores, onde juntos entendem como empenho das demandas do setor. Fica aqui o registro de agradecimento a todos os envolvidos nesta parceria para ampliar o mercado do nosso setor, e desejando a todos bons negócios e uma ótima tarde dentro do Projeto Imagem.
Muito obrigado, vice-presidente do Conselho Diretivo da ABRA, João Pedro Bittar, pelas suas considerações. Antes de anunciarmos o nosso palestrante, pedimos às pessoas que estão presentes aqui nesse auditório, peço que utilizem os fones de ouvido que foram entregues e com o celular basta direcionar através do QR Code diretamente na sala da plataforma Zoom, especialmente criada para as traduções, e selecione então o idioma em inglês, que vai ser traduzido para o português. Agora convidamos o zootecnista, coordenador do Departamento Técnico da ABRA, Lucas Cipriano, que também é presidente da World Renderers Organization, WRO, para apresentar o tema Brazilian Renderers, produtos, oportunidades e bons negócios.
Thank you, Marcelo. It's a pleasure to be here to do this speech, explain you a bit about our rendering industry. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Lucas Cipriano, and I'm starting my presentation now. Well, to show you our rendering system and the rendering project, I'm split my presentation in 5 points. I'll explain you a little bit about our association, then the animal rendering sector, what we do here, how we do here, the products use and advantages of it, and our industry and its sustainability, and I'll finish my presentation explain you about the Brazilian Renderers project. So, first one, a quick look about our association. Founded in 2006, the association represents the Brazilian renderers companies, industries here in our country. Sure, what ABRA do? ABRA works to promote our members, representing them at several entities, like our Ministry of Agriculture, like our Environmental Ministry, our Economical Ministry, and sure, with related associations, like the Feed Producers Association, the Meat Producers Association, the Poultry Producers Association, and so on, here in Brazil and also overseas. And besides that, what we do mostly either is giving support for technical and regulatory issues. Nowadays, we have 210 facilities affiliated to ABRA, and it among 318 in total rendering units in Brazil. Second point, a bit about what is produced and how much we produce. First of all, what does rendering sector do? We safely process animal byproducts from slaughtered animals. And then what are these byproducts? They are part of slaughtered animals that for some reason do not go for human consumption. It can be because population don't like to eat. For instance, in Brazil we don't eat cattle kidney. It's not part of our culture. It's not part of our dish. So something must be done with that. For cultural habits, let's suppose that in some countries, some religions do not allow you to eat some parts of the animal. So this part can be rendered either. Or because our sanitary authorities classifies this specific part as unfit for human consumption, according with our official surveillance or inspection system. All these byproducts can be used for rendering and produce rendering products. And what kind of raw material are used? Bones, feather, the fish scales, fats, meats, and so on. This is all and everything that is classified as inedible. Let's suppose a chunk of meat in a meat packer falls in the floor. It cannot be used raw as it is for human food. It cannot be used for human consumption. So one of the possible technologies to properly dispose this product is rendering. So this is what we do. And where our industry can source this raw material? There are two, and just two, possible sources according with our legislation. We can source, we can collect our raw material in slaughtering and meat processing units, like slaughterhouses, sausages factories, meat packers, and so on. Or we can go to retail market and collect in butcheries, supermarkets, municipal markets. This is the place where we can collect. For instance, in Brazil, we cannot collect in farms, we cannot collect in chicken farm or in raising system or whatever. This is not allowed for feed purpose. So our rendering units, they do not go after their raw material in this kind of establishments. How much is wasted at the rendering process? This is something that every time we ask, well, okay, you collect your raw material, and how much you don't use? Well, in Brazil, since everything comes from a controlled source, we rendered 100% of everything that is collected. We do not generate waste out of our raw material. It's a industry with the best yield possible. And in this cycle, we can understand better what we do. So we have the animals being raised on farms. This animal, when the time comes, go to slaughterhouses, and at the slaughterhouse, byproduct are generated. And this byproduct can be collected and rendered. The other way is the slaughterhouse sells, for instance, a half carcass for a butcher shop. In the butcher shop, the butchery takes part of the bones, meat scraps, they take the excess of fat out of the consumer, and all these leftovers also can be collected and come and being rendered. So oftenly what we do here, this is our process system, a quick and very simple diagram. We grind our raw material, we cook it. It's about 100 Celsius for 30 to 40 minutes. Sure, there are variation possibles. It's not the only technology, but it's the main technology in Brazil. And then on the end of the process, the temperature rises up to 115, 113, 145, according with the raw material and specifications desired, and then the product is unloaded from the cooker, goes to a screw press to separate the fat and the solids, and solids means often protein and minerals. And then I have the production of animal fats and animal meals. And out of this production we have several destinations. The most usual ones are biodiesel, cosmetics, soap, hygiene and cleaning, feedstuffs, and pet food. More than 70% actually, our numbers indicates that about 73.5% remains in the animals feeding in Brazil. And 26.5% goes to other industries. And then 60% of our production goes back to farms to feed non-ruminant animals. And this product goes to be used as a feed ingredient, and the animals are fed, and then the cycle starts again. One thing that we must be clear, Brazil has raw material available along the year. We slaughter animals every single month, every single working day. And then we have availability of raw material all over the year. So we have animal meal and animal fat production all over the year. Concerning cattle, we are the second biggest in the world. In 2021, we produced 20.3 million heads. Regarding meat chicken, we produced in total 5.6 billion heads. We were the third biggest producer in the world. Regarding swines or pigs, our production is also steady. It's constant, and then we slaughtered about 43 million head last year, and we are the fourth biggest producer in the world. And fish, our production are still growing. Sure, we are not a fishery country, but anyway, our fish farming is really increasing fast. The average on the last years is a yearly increase of 6% of increase on fishery production, and it means a very good number for our country. And in 2020, we produced 803,000 tons in 2020. What is the market share? How much of the live weight of the animals goes to rendering? Each animal has its own yield at the slaughtering. Some animals produce less byproduct and some animals produce more byproduct. So bovine to rendering in Brazil, about 38% of the animal live weight goes to rendering. So we rendered about 7.3 million tons of raw material in 2020. Poultry, 28% of the live weight of the animal that went to the slaughterhouse were rendered. So we rendered about 4.6 million tons in 2020. Swine, 20%, about 1.1 million tons. Fishery, 45%. Sure, we don't eat head, we don't eat the guts, we don't eat a lot of the fish. Very little is used for human consumption in the fishery industry. 211,000 tons were rendered. In total, the Brazilian average yield, 31% of everything we slaughtered goes to rendering. It means 13.3 million tons. It's a fabulous number. It's a very mini number. And how much did we produce? Remember that we cook. We cook why? We cook to dry. So we take the water out, otherwise our product wouldn't be stable to be sold. So how much we produced? Meal, 3.6 million tons of what? 61% is meat and bone meal, 19% is poultry byproduct meal, 16% is feather meal, 3% blood meal, and just 1% fish meal. Very little in relation to the other ones. And animal fat production, 2.1 million tons. The vast majority is beef tallow, then poultry oil, 24%, pork white grease, just 7%, and fish oil again, 1%. And what about our products? Where can I use it? And what are the advantages to use these products? So I will address you the main rendered products, application, and reasons to be used. Often we like to explain why they are used, and this is what I'm going to do now. If the transitions happen, please. A slide, yeah, thank you. Well, the main Brazilian feed ingredients, animal-based, sure, not everything is rendered, but animal-based, and we are including everything. Meals and fats from bovine, swine, poultry, and fish. Hemoderivatives, hemoglobin, and plasma, mainly spray-dried. Palatability enhancers of animal origin, and hydrolyzed proteins of animal origin. These are the main 4 classifications of feed ingredients that we produce. So, the main use of rendered products are feed ingredients. Why? The number is 73.5% of the production is used as feed ingredient. Mainly, again, poultry, pig, fishery, and pet food. Again, our products are not allowed for ruminant feeding in Brazil. So really nothing goes to ruminant in Brazil. Not even feather meal. Yeah, not even feather meal. The protein feed ingredients are rich in essential amino acids, energy, and fatty acids. They are complementary, we could say that, to the amino acid profile of vegetable sources, so they kind of increase, they kind of works well together when you use some of the protein from animal source and the majority coming from the vegetable. So the animals are better nourished when vegetable plus animal protein are blended and served to the animal in association. Our product has excellent digestibility. They are completely free of any kind of anti-nutritional factors. For instance, you use limestone. Limestone is 38% calcium. What is the rest of the limestone? Silica. Do nothing with the animal. For instance, you use soybean meal. Soybean meal is 48% protein. What is the rest? The vast majority of soybean meal are not well digested carbohydrates. So, and our products don't have this kind of non-used ingredient. All of our nutrients are feeding the animal. Sure, we are rendering from the live animal. Everything that's in the animal can be used for animal metabolism. And what the nutritionist says that due to this kind of situation, we are kind of space savers in the feed formulation. by reducing the inclusion of vegetable proteins, meals, vegetable oils, and inorganic materials in the feed formula, you need less additional ingredients to do the feed. So you can use more corn, you can use more and the more cheapest feed ingredient to feed well the animal, to complete all the requirements of the animal at the red mixed feed. So this is what we are. We save space in the animal feed formula. And what about the fatty feed ingredients? They are also sources, very important source of essential fatty acids. They are more stable against oxidation than the ordinary vegetable sources. We have less double bonds in our fat structure. Regardless, and I have one point here, it's not true for fish oil. Fish oil often is the less stable source of oil. But when we compare what we produce in Brazil, beef tallow, pork lard, and poultry oil, they are more stable against oxidation than the vast majority of vegetable oils. Like they are more stable than soybean oil, than rice oil, than canola oil. They are more stable due to their natural composition. And sure, our oils are one of the main alternatives energy source to plant-based oils. In addition, why our products are used? Well, I'll give you I will think as a dog. Think yourself as a dog. What do you prefer? To eat a limestone, which is tasteless, you chew and it's not good in your mouth, or you prefer to eat a fried bone, a fried meat? So for the animals where palatability matters, the smell is more attractive, the taste is better, and it's very good to be chewed. So for some species, I'm putting poultry apart, but for pigs, dogs, cats, some species, sure, our taste is well better than the alternatives. Our product is not dusty at all. Think about using monocalcium phosphate. The product itself is a dust, and some animals do not like dusty food, or dusty feed. And sure, they can lower or even replace the use of artificial flavors. And this is these last two ones are the real reason to use our products. We are very economical. If you do a poultry feed using meat and bone meal, in Brazil the average savings fluctuates from 4% of better price, lower price production of poultry feed up to 7%. This is our historical price. And mainly, we are market available. The worst case scenario is if you have a raw material that is good, the price is good, but you don't have it. This is not our case. Our product is every time available for our clients. And nevertheless, let's address the 26.5% that are used in other markets. The main ones in sequence here for our reality in Brazil. Hygiene and cleaning. Here in Brazil, our culture is to take our showers using bath soup bars. We are not a liquid soup country. We like to use bar soups. They are used a lot in cosmetics, fertilizers, and lately oleochemical industries. Yeah, you can do grazes, you can do some additives for inks out of tallow, for instance. Industry and sustainability, production system and the sustainability of the industry. Well, I can assure you, our industry is really modern and high-tech. We have units that are really updated to the lately technology. And it's growing a lot, the flexibility of our manufacturing system. Several units already has managed to deal with the protein level of their products. They can do products with more protein, with less protein, accordingly with clients' need. Our industry has our regulatory mark established in 2008. It's a very meaning normative instruction from our Ministry of Agriculture that was published in 2008. The number of the normative instruction is number 34. Out of this normative instruction, all of our renderers must have implemented GMPs, self-control programs, HACCP programs, traceability in all steps. And it was very, very critical and very, very meaning to assure the reliability of the rendering system in Brazil. And they are due, the institution that do this inspection is the Federal Service Inspection of our Federal Agricultural System. And since we are talking about sustainability, well, one information, Brazil currently has more than 3,000 sanitary landfills spread all over the country. Brazil produces yearly 43.3 million tons of domestic waste. This is the number that Brazil deals yearly. What we assure, what we state is that without the renderer's job, this number would increase by 30.7%. It would be required about more 921 new sanitary landfills. We render 30 million tons, about a third of everything that is put in landfills in our country. One very interesting thing about our system, the rendering process recover water. Remember, we are live beings. As live beings, water is our main ingredient. 60% of our raw material is water. So we can reclaim, we can recover about 2 kilos, 1 liter we can recover 1 liter of water out of 2 kilos of raw material. We boil the water, we condense the water, and then we treat the water, and then we release the water completely clean for the environment. And also, sure, we have safe air. No doubt that all Brazilian renders use our treatment systems. There are several technologies in the market assuring a contaminant-free output of their air. Also, again, regarding sustainability, our sector in total offers yearly 54,000 direct jobs. We have a lot of people working with us. According with the World Health Organization, in a very meaning report of them regarding BSE, rendering is an essential public service. They states it really clear in this very meaning report. And also, according with the Brazilian Ministry of Mines and Energy, animal fats are recognized as zero carbon. Sure, no one would raise a cattle to produce beef tallow. What is the driving economical reason to have cattle being raised? Food, meat. No one would wonder to raise a cattle to produce tallow. If there is no demand for animal meat, sure, we will have no tallow. That's why our ministry recognized that every source of energy that are not the driving reason to have it are zero carbon. We are addressing the carbon to the driving economical reason. Again, dá licença. Nope, please, slide. Yeah, thank you. And lately, number 5, Brazilian Renders Project. I'll explain you now about our project. ABRA ApexBrasil Project for International Promotion of Brazilian Rendered Products. So, what is this project? This project is carried out by ABRA in partnership with the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, the ApexBrasil. The project is planned to expand the export market and promote the Brazilian rendering industry worldwide. The project is designed for the following activities: initiatives and promotion strategies. We do participate in trade shows worldwide. We are here in this one, but we are in China, we are in Thailand, we are in Indonesia, we are in US, we were in Colombia, we are in Chile, we are whatever we have clients for our project, promoting our products for clients worldwide. Buyers project, oops, not now. Buyers project. In this project, we invite buyers to come to Brazil to know our production system. Trade missions. Some sanitary authority for a country, for a porting country, are willing to come to Brazil to approve rendering units. So, all the Brazilian Renders Project sets everything, where they go, why they go, who they go, sure, with our Ministry Agricultural allowance and support. We do prospective missions to foreign countries, and here what we do. We are doing now the image product. We show our system elsewhere in the world. Safe product, and what grounds our project? We do know that safe product means market access. So to have access elsewhere, we must have safe products. And Brazil is recognized by OIE as negligible risk for BSE. We are free of African swine fever. We are free of foot and mouth disease. We are free of avian influenza. We are free of Newcastle disease. It's a self-declaration. And 99% of our swine herd is in a zone free of classical swine fever. We still have a little place in country where we do have some wild cases, but so far so good. No spread in the country. And sure, all this declaration can be and will be assured by our sanitary authorities in the sanitary health certificate that goes with every load, to every container exported from Brazil. No, not. Here. Regarding the exporting, we create this graphic to show who are the main exporting countries regarding rendered product. US is the biggest country, either in production and in export. European Union is the second country. It's not a country, but anyway, the second biggest in production and the second biggest in exports. Regarding export, the third biggest country in million metric tons is Australia. US export 2,000 tons, European Union 1.5 million metric tons, Australia exported 1.1 million metric tons, and then New Zealand. New Zealand is the fourth country regarding volumes. New Zealand exported in 2020 0.3 million metric tons, and Brazil exported 0.2 million metric tons. So we are the second biggest producer country. Sure, if we split European Union in countries, we are the second biggest one. We have a well-established facility with more than 300 units spread all over the country, and we do have competitive prices with several suppliers. Safe products, again, this is what we do believe. How much we export in 2021? 156 million US dollars, a very good number. Brazil exported products for all continents in the world, for more than 40 countries. Major buyers: Vietnam, Chile, US, South Africa, Colombia, Argentina, Bangladesh, Venezuela, and China. Sure, to do that, we must have good relation and partnership with several countries. Please. Thank you. And why we do it? We do it due to logistic. We are the fourth biggest trade country regarding value. We export less volume than New Zealand, but our prices are higher on average than them. Sure, we must have an agile logistic to ports, airports, and land transportation to have this position as the fourth biggest world trader of rendered products worldwide. Sure, our members do know how to stuff a container in a fast and reliable way. Please, next one. And sure, for delivering, several packing ways are offered to our clients. Meals, hemoderivatives, and hydrolyzed proteins, they can be packed in bulk, in big bag or bulk bags, or can be bagged in 30 kilos, 40 kilos, 50 kilos bagged. Fats and palatability enhancers, often they go in tankers, if the client wishes, or flexi tanks, or IBC containers, very usual way to export palatability enhancers, and tank truckers, if done by ground. Oops. This is our members. So in name of all these companies that we are doing this job, we really appreciate your time, and here I finish my presentation. Thank you. Muito obrigado. Bear time. Lara?
Muito obrigado pela bela apresentação, senhor Cipriano. Agora vamos abrir para as perguntas, né? Lembrando que para se manifestar, deve ser apenas via chat. Pedimos a todos que informem nome, cargo, empresa ou entidade que representa e o contato. As perguntas serão lidas conforme a ordem de chegada e quem vai ler as perguntas, está aqui presencial no auditório, é o coordenador de mercado interno da ABRA, Lucas Portela. Então vamos passar para as perguntas. Lucas.
Boa tarde a todos. Primeiramente agradecer em nome da ABRA a excelente palestra, bastante esclarecedora. Uma das perguntas que surgiu aqui no chat é sobre os desafios que a reciclagem animal tem a enfrentar no mundo neste ano.
Well, regarding the challenges, I believe that is the very same of every industry. The container crisis, the prices of transport, it's a big challenge elsewhere in the world. I don't believe, I see that it's growing with, and no one can forecast where and when, where it's going to, how critical it will turn, and either no one can forecast when it will finish. Sometimes you see clear signals that it's cooling down, and sometimes you see that it's raising up again. And so far, it's still very unstable scenario. But sure, sooner or later, maybe in 1 year or so, the situation will be finally finished, and we will be back on tracks to the ordinary history where we have availability of containers, availability of ships, and international market will be again set and ready to increase, or to increase even more, even further of what we are exporting.
A segunda pergunta que a gente tem é sobre os diferenciais que o produto brasileiro tem em comparação com os demais do mundo.
Well, I can tell you about our product. To do the comparison with other countries, better each country knows better what they are producing. But here in Brazil, we have a full traceability, we have a very good sanitary status, and depending on the use of our product, but in Brazil, since we don't render fallen animals, we don't collect in farms, it's sure every company can guarantee you in countries where this kind of collection is allowed, the company can guarantee you. But if a country do not allow, it's an extra benefit or an extra assurance that you can have if you decide to use our products. And sure, we have other possibilities. For instance, let's talk about bovine meat and bone meal. When I show you the graphic, we have a stable, but we have some months where we produce less cattle in Brazil. Why? Because we are at the end of the draft season. The raining is about to start, and when it starts, the animals start being slaughtered. More animals goes back to slaughter. And then we have a kind of advantage because we have more meal when the world has less meal, and we have less meal when the world is producing more cattle. So we are not synchronized with the main producers. I mean Europe and US. So it's maybe if you can time in better your suppliers. Same like soybean meal. When US is cropping, we are planting. When the US is planting, we are cropping. So same thing happens with cattle.
Obrigado. Acredito que a palestra foi bem esclarecedora, não temos mais perguntas. Acredito que o pessoal presencialmente também não tem. Gostaria de agradecer quem está aqui presencialmente com a gente, quem também está nos acompanhando nas redes sociais. Devolvo aqui a palavra ao nosso chefe de cerimônias, Marcelo, por favor.
Obrigado, Lucas. Então, estamos nos encaminhando para o encerramento e eu convido novamente o vice-presidente do Conselho Diretivo da ABRA, João Pedro Bittar, para suas considerações finais.
Boa tarde mais uma vez. Gostaria de agradecer a participação de todos, agradecer a apresentação do Cipriano. E é importante porque a gente conseguiu entender mais a qualidade da produção do setor no nosso país e que a cada dia mais a gente possa fazer mais negócios. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
Muito obrigado. Então, agradecemos a todos pela participação e manifestações. Estamos encerrando por aqui o projeto Imagem Brazilian Renders. Aos que nos acompanham de forma virtual, convidamos que acessem o site brasilianrenders.com. E aos que estão presencial, convidamos que visitem o stand da ABRA na Feira 2022, na Rua I, vitrine e oportunidades para as indústrias do setor de reciclagem animal. Muito obrigado, até a próxima.
The Brazilian animal rendering industry is achieving excellent results, ensuring quality products, health safety, and environmental sustainability. We're going to show the size of this market and great business opportunities in this video. We are ABRA, the Brazilian Renderers Association. In partnership with ApexBrasil, the Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency, we created the Brazilian Renderers Project, which promotes meals, fats, gelatins, hemoderivatives, and flavorings of animal origin, manufactured in Brazil for the world market. Our association was created in 2006. Over the years, we have followed the incredible growth and modernization process of the national rendering industry. That is why we invite you to learn more about what we are doing. ABRA and the Brazilian Renderers Project encompass more than 100 industries that render raw byproduct from animal slaughter and meat processors spread over almost all Brazilian states. All of them strictly follow Brazilian legislation, which requires that the raw byproduct arrives at the factories within 24 hours after collection in sealed trucks. It guarantees health security and product quality. These raw byproducts consist of parts of slaughtered farm animals, cattle, pork, poultry, and fish that are not used for human consumption, such as bones, meat scraps, fat, feathers, viscera, and blood, for example. This material is processed and transformed into products with high quality standards, being rich in proteins and fats, presenting excellent mineral levels with phosphorus and calcium, in addition to essential amino acids, excellent palatability for the animal's diet. Brazil renders 100% of the slaughtered animal raw byproducts collected by our industries, and the sector works all year round because we are one of the largest producers of animal protein in the world, with guaranteed production throughout every month. There's always raw material available. Annually, the industries process about 13 million tons of raw byproducts, which are transformed into 5.5 million tons of animal meals and fats. The secret lies in the efficiency of our entire chain, which performs reverse logistics. Our industries process the raw byproducts of several suppliers, producing meals, fats, gelatins, blood products, and palatabilizers that are used as ingredients in other industries. It is a closed cycle that uses slaughter raw byproduct in a responsible and safe manner. The rendering industry is responsible for giving sustainability to the meat and fish production chain, preventing raw byproduct from polluting the soil, water, and air. And more, for every 2 kilos of raw byproduct processed, we recover 1 liter of water that returns clean and treated to nature. And our fat production is recognized as zero carbon by the National Biofuels Policy called RenovaBio, carried out by the Brazilian Ministry of Mines and Energy. We are a highly sustainable segment. Also, we generate about 54,000 direct jobs. Brazilian rendering industry has revenues of $1.5 billion per year and is responsible for more than $100 million in exports. And we export to all continents, with more than 50 countries such as the United States, Chile, Vietnam, Colombia, South Africa, and Argentina, among others, buying our products. And there's a good reason for all these positive results. The quality of our products is recognized in Brazil and worldwide. Our industrial park is modern and equipped with high technology. And we are able to customize products according to customers' needs. We produce meals with different protein contents and high digestibility. And the most important, everything is always done with total sanitary security. Our companies are registered, inspected, audited, and certified by the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Supply. We have complete traceability from the origin of the animal raw byproduct to the finished product. Brazil is recognized by the World Organization for Animal Health, the OIE, with full sanitary conditions for export. A country free of the main diseases that can affect herds. Brazil is recognized as negligible risk for BSE, bovine spongiform encephalopathy, and we are free from African swine fever, foot and mouth disease, avian influenza, Newcastle disease, 99% of the pig herd in a classical swine fever-free area. And our country is also a signatory to Codex Alimentarius International Food Standards, a joint program of the United Nations for Food and Agriculture and the World Health Organization. The world market recognizes our commitment to ensure production reliability. Our industries have an excellent logistics infrastructure, and they are located in regions close to the sources of raw material, with easy flow to the main Brazilian ports. And they are prepared to deliver each shipment in the most convenient and agile way. The joint work of several companies that have come together has outcome at the development of the industry, ensuring the best solutions for customers. Now you have a much broader view of our sector and all the opportunities it brings. Be sure we know how to get the best animal slaughtered raw byproducts with maximum quality and responsibility. The Brazilian animal rendering products are an excellent business for you, for us, and for the whole world.